today we are doing a 1700 calorie what I eat in a day video. This is going to be a continuation to my previous video, how to create a 1700 calorie meal plan. So I'm just going to show you how I make each meal, how I prep everything, so that you can actually see the behind the scenes. And if you did not watch the previous video to this, that's going to show you how to plug everything into MyFitnessPal. Hopefully you get some new meal ideas from this video, but more importantly, learn that you can eat flexibly and make these meals fit into your daily calorie goals so that you can really get great results. So let's go. Okay, so for the tropical chicken salad, I'm going to be making the chicken first. So the way that I measure chicken is whenever I am making it in bulk, I always check what the weight of the entire thing is raw, and then I also record the weight after it's cooked to get the exact number. And the reason why I do that is because I like to log my food according to the actual nutrition label. So I would scan this chicken into MyFitnessPal and it's gonna come up as 4 ounces, which would be the nutrition information for a serving of raw chicken for 4 ounces. But I wanna know what the weight is for that 4 ounces raw after it's cooked, because it's going to shrink. The nutrition information is the same, but the weight is going to be different because the chicken is going to lose some water. So that's personally the way that I do it. I know everyone does it differently, but that's just the way that I personally think is the most accurate, because again, I like to go by the label on the food that's actually in front of me instead of searching for things in the MyFitnessPal database. All right, so there is 18.94 ounces in here of chicken raw. So I'm gonna let that cook and then I will record the weight after that, and I'm going to show you how I figure that out. Okay, so while the chicken is cooking, I'm gonna be making the stevia coated nuts. I just add some water, the nuts, and also the stevia to a pot. I let it cook for a few minutes and then I let it cool. So the chicken came out to be 10.26 ounces. So I'm just going to pull out my calculator and I'm going to calculate 4 ounces raw times 10.26 cooked gives me 41.04, and then we're going to divide that by 18.94 was the number. So this gives us 2.16. The 4 ounces that was raw is going to yield 2.16 ounces cooked. It's the same nutrition information, but obviously the chicken lost a good amount of water the way that I cooked it and for the amount of time that I had it on the stove. So I already have my strawberries and my lettuce in here, and I'm going to put 2.16 ounces of chicken. Okay. Adding the cantaloupe. We're going to add stevia. This is a better view probably of what it actually looks like. It's all nice and coated with the sliced almonds, which is what we really wanted. So we're gonna dump that in there. All right, next up we're doing the goat cheese. I actually have some left here. Now is the toppings. So raspberry vinaigrette. And then I'm also going to use the mango glaze here. This is so good with chicken. 30 ml for 2 teaspoons. I might not even want the full 30 with this meal. Maybe I'll like save some for later. So that is this meal. This is so freaking good. I am obsessed with this. Wow, this is so good. How to make chicken taste good 101. Just put mango glaze on it. All right, so for my post-workout meal, I'm making sloppy hose. Just kidding. We are making some sloppy joes today. It is so good. I used to have this all the time as a kid, and I recently revisited it, which I am very happy about because it is so good. And it really doesn't even taste like you're having turkey meat, which is what I have right here. This is 93% lean ground turkey meat, and this is 16 ounces. And I'm going to be flavoring it with some onions. I have some tomato paste here, and I'm gonna add some water to that, and then also, of course, the Sloppy Joe seasoning. And I have whole wheat buns, some potatoes, and some green beans. Looking at my log in MyFitnessPal, we said that we were gonna do 50 grams of potatoes. So I'm gonna get my food scale. So about the 50 grams of the potatoes, it's actually just gonna be these 2 little guys right here. I didn't really realize when I was plugging in on MyFitnessPal how small that was gonna be. But if I wanted to, I could take out the bun to have more potatoes and still make everything fit into my macros. But I'm not gonna do that because I really want the bun. So I'm just gonna add these 2 potatoes. I don't care, it's fine. We'll make these 2 potatoes. This is the real behind the scenes, all right, of macro tracking. You think that you're gonna have enough of a serving size, and then you weigh it and you realize, oh crap, it's not enough. But it's all good. 2 potatoes are fine with me as long as I can have my bread. So I have the 2 potatoes in the oven, the 2 measly little potatoes. And I'm just gonna spray my pan, and I'm going to put turkey meat in here. For the green beans, I am doing 64 grams because that is 3/4 of a cup. All right, I'm just making the sauce now. You don't have to track the stuff that I'm doing here. I'm just doing it because 1, I am an experienced tracker and I'm just used to tracking everything. And number 2, honestly, I don't track my food all the time. I pretty much just only track my macros, at least like pretty precisely, when I am actually trying to achieve a goal. Like this entire year, I did not track a single macro, and that's because I just was intuitively eating. I did not have a goal in mind. I was just being healthy and just eating as the day goes, right? So it really just depends like on what you're personally trying to achieve. Tracking macros isn't necessary for weight loss. It's just going to potentially help you get there faster when you actually know how much you're consuming in a day, as opposed to, you know, sometimes when you intuitively eat, you don't really know how much you're consuming in a day. So that's just personally the way I like to do it. I like to track macros when I am shooting for a goal, and then when I am just cruising through life, I intuitively eat and don't really track my food. However, I do pretty much weigh a lot of my food just to make sure I'm getting the proper serving size, because honestly, I, to this day, still really can't tell for some foods, especially like peanut butter, how much I'm actually getting for each serving. So I just like to know that I'm getting the proper serving size, and also getting enough of a serving size too, like for protein purposes and stuff. So I pretty much do weigh a lot of my food all the time, but yeah, tracking in MyFitnessPal, that's pretty much something I just do when I have a goal. All right, so we are adding in the mixture here. I'm going to show you how I account for this in MyFitnessPal and then how I actually weigh it, because I know it can be a little confusing, like when you make like a recipe. What I am doing is I'm going to create a recipe in MyFitnessPal, add each ingredient in, and I'm going to input in MyFitnessPal how much of each ingredient that was used in the entire recipe. So for the turkey meat, I'm gonna put it as 16 ounces because that's how much the whole thing was. For the tomatoes, I did 5 servings, which was 150 grams. And then for the onions, I did 36 grams. So that's gonna be my recipe. You can list the number of servings that you want. So do you wanna make this whole thing 4 different servings, or do you wanna make it 5 servings? Obviously it's gonna decrease in size the more servings that you have, but for this specific example, for our 1700 calorie plan, it's going to be 4 servings because we're going to have 4 ounces of that ground turkey. Now, how do we weigh this? The way to do that properly is just to take the total weight of this and divide it by 4. Same thing, because we're doing 4 servings, right? The total weight of this entire recipe here was 20.42 ounces. So I'm going to divide that by 4. Really, really easy. 20.42 divided by 4 gives me 5.1 ounces. That's how much I know each serving is going to be, and that it's also accurate in MyFitnessPal. So that's just how I personally like to do it. Again, you don't have to do it like that. If you do it a different way, that's like totally fine. Adding my 2 potatoes in here, and this is the meal, guys. I know that tracking macros can seem really like daunting at first and overwhelming for some people, but honestly, like once you get the hang of it, it's so much easier, and it's like clockwork, honestly, as you go through the motions with this stuff once you learn how to do it. For those of you that don't know, I do have a course that teaches you how to start tracking macros and how to get your full transformation with your fitness journey that you are looking for. So if that's something you're interested in, I'll leave that for you in the description below. And I am going to enjoy this meal because I'm so excited. Next up, we are doing a yogurt parfait. This is kind of like a meal for me because it does fill me up. So this is 5.3 ounces of yogurt and 10 grams of granola, and then we're adding 20 grams of blueberries. We are ending it with a Fiber One 70 calorie brownie, which I absolutely love because it really satisfies my sweet tooth, all within being under 100 calories, which is just so amazing and unbeatable, honestly. So thank you for tuning in. That's it for today's video, and I'll catch you in the next one.